हाय वेलकम बैक टू जस्ट यू ही। कैसे हो आप लोग? अच्छा सुनिए, आज का जो जस्ट यू ही ना, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी जस्ट यू ही, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ सीरियस just you he. So I cannot say that today it is a just you he. No, it is not a just you he. मैं बताता हूँ क्यों. Apart from me being a business mentor, a transformation catalyst, I'm also a life counselor. And I do two segments. One, those who have been sexually abused, and two, those who have attempted suicide but have survived. So I have one patient जिसका नाम मैं लेता हूँ एज माया. वैसा तो शी इज नॉट हर रियल नेम इज नॉट माया, बट लेट मी कॉल हर माया क्योंकि सब कुछ माया ही तो है. सो शी हैज बीन वॉचिंग माई वीडियोज फ्रॉम ऑल द डिफरेंट सेगमेंट्स दैट आई हैव. जैसे जस्ट यूनिंग है, पावर पैक है, अपन का म्यूजिक्स ऑफ अ मैवरिक है, एंड शी इज ऑल्सो बीन माई पेशेंट एंड शी इज ऑल्सो अ सुसाइड सर्वाइवर. So she sent me a note saying, sir, why don't you also talk about suicide? Because I know what happened in my life for me to have tried to attempt to commit suicide. फिर मैंने बड़ा सोचा, मैंने कहा that's right. भाई आप लोगों को तो बताना चाहिए ना कि how sad this tendency is. आपको पता है over 2 million people every year across the country, across the world die because of suicide. And what is worse, 5 times this number survive suicide but are in such a bad physical shape, mutilated, that they literally have to struggle to survive. पता है आपको? And the saddest part, about suicide is that it is committed by those people who have desperately lost hope of everything. And that doesn't necessarily have to be. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about how to help people who have a tendency to commit suicide. ठीक है? Done. First, recognize the signs. People who are trying to or wanting to commit suicide, you can see the signs. बड़ा साफ नजर आता है. You can see that they are very desperate. They keep getting into depressions. They keep talking about death. और कभी-कभी क्या है ना, they even start glorifying death. यार इतना मजा आएगा यार, एक बार मैं मर जाऊं, सब कुछ छोड़ के चले जाऊंगा मैं, सारे जितने ये जो कुछ हो रहा है मेरी जिंदगी में, जस्ट वन स्नैप, खत्म, आई एम डेड. सो दे एक्चुअली वेरी ऑफन शो द साइंस. यू कैन सी इट. कई बार तो देखते हैं यार मरूंगा, इफ आई वांट टू कमिट सुसाइड आई विल आइदर हैंग माई सेल्फ, or I will take one knife and kill myself, or I'll cut my throat thing. So they even start talking methodologies. And never ignore it, because ये मजाक नहीं है, ये मजाक बिल्कुल नहीं है. Just don't ignore it. Do you know, very often when they're ignored, they get even more ignited to commit suicide, because they feel यार किसी को परवाह नहीं है. They're not bothered. अरे मैं कह तो रहा हूं कि मैं मरने वाला हूं, I'm going to kill myself, but they're not bothered. That gets them into a deep depression, and that's when they take this one snap and they're into oblivion. So बहुत important है, recognize the signs. Though, second point, once you have recognized the signs, then don't sit back. Immediately start reaching out to that person. And not only that person, start reaching out to friends, families of the same person and warn them कि boss ये होने वाला है, ये हो सकता है, ये शायद suicide commit करेगा या commit करेगी. And that's very very important because you must sound the alarm bells but sound it very subtly. ये नहीं है कि आप देख लो ओहो ये तो यार he's going to die, he's going to commit suicide any time now और आप शोर मचा दो. शोर नहीं मचाना आपने. Be silent and subtle. Because remember something, when they are coming to that point, when they want to commit suicide, could be just a matter of time. Yaqeen maniye, it could be just a matter of time. So it is very important that they are not agitated. समझ गया? 3. Listen, speak, empathize. That is very important. Because now is the time to give all your attention to that person. And it is not easy. मैं आपको बताऊं, it is not easy. मैं काउंसलर हूं ना, मैं जानता हूं. क्या होता है आप लोगों के साथ when you see someone desperately trying to commit suicide, you don't know how to react. It's very important because you don't have the tendency. You're not understanding ये क्यों कह रहा है ऐसा कि I want to die? क्या प्रॉब्लम इसमें है? You don't have to do all the judging. You don't have to do all the mental argument yourself. Just listen and the picture will come very clear to you. Listen very carefully. What is the reason? क्या reasons है? Don't start justifying anything at that point in time. Because let me tell you, the person who's trying to commit suicide is already justified of the fact that there is no hope in life and therefore I want to die. बड़ा simple सा है ना? So no point trying to justify. अरे नहीं यार, this is not possible. How can you think? एक argument सा हो जाता है उसके दिमाग में. There's a fight that begins in his or her brain, in her mind, and then what happens? Suddenly, if the argument towards killing oneself wins, it is all over. It is very, very important that you be a very good listener, you be a very subtle speaker, and you empathize. You don't argue. You always empathize. हाँ पे हाँ मिलाना कोई गलत काम नहीं है. As long as you can buy time out and then over a period of some time, start explaining what is right and what you think that person is thinking wrongly. But it takes time. बड़ा patience चाहिए होता है. ठीक है? Don't forget this. The 4th most important tip जो मैं आपको दे रहा हूं, ध्यान से सुनिएगा. You have to control your own thinking when you are connected with a person who has got suicidal tendencies. ये बड़ा important है. It's very very important. क्यों? Because what happens is very often while you are talking, listening, empathizing, whatever, those very thought processes that you're getting exposed to could possibly, and happen most of the time, can influence your own fears and your own thought processes. It is a very common thing. I have noticed this when I have handled my patients who have tried to commit suicide, who have already committed suicide and have survived. And when I speak to their parents, I realize, or their brothers, very close friends, they realize that many of them had also got the process influenced by what this particular boy or girl was talking about or had in her or his mind before they tried to commit suicide. तो आपको mentally बहुत ज़्यादा strong बनना पड़ेगा. You cannot allow that conversation to influence you. Because chances are that it is going to stroke your fears deep within you. All your fears of the unknown कि यार मैं मेरी जिंदगी में शायद ये भी होने वाला है जिसके साथ हो रहा है मेरे साथ भी होने वाला है. So these are not some things that you can ignore. So you have to be very, very strong inside and not allow any of the conversations or any of what you're hearing from this person who has got this desperate need to kill herself or himself to influence you at any given point of time. And finally, it is very important for all the family members, for all this person who's wanting to commit suicide, their friends, including you, to realize that anyone who has a tendency to commit suicide must be connected to a counselor or a mentor. ये बहुत जरूरी होता है. मैं बताऊं क्यों? क्योंकि क्या होता है कि a counselor or mentor has been handling suicide cases for him. It is a reality. And it is a reality which the person, the mentor, the counselor understands. आप लोगों को क्या होना? Most often it may not be look like a reality. You might say, hey यार ये one odd case है, ये अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा. Because it is not happening in your life so often, है ना? कभी कभार हो गया, you come across someone who's got suicidal tendency. But for a mentor and a counselor, it is a regular thing. And the more the mentor counselor gets exposed over the past years to such suicidal cases, that much more this person is now wise to handle such situations. Another very important thing about connecting with a mentor or counselor is, there is, and I have seen this, I have noticed it, I have felt it, मैं खुद life counselor हूँ. The person, मैं तो patient बुलाऊंगा because he is not well mentally, so I call the person a patient. The patient connects more openly with a mentor or a counselor because there is no inhibitions, there is no walls, there is absolute transparency. That same patient cannot be so open with his mom and dad or her mom and dad or the brothers, sisters or friends. But that same person can become very open with a mentor or counselor because no matter how desperate a patient is to give up on life, there is always that one little iota of hope that कोई तो मुझे समझाए यार, मैं अपनी जिंदगी के इतने सारे प्रॉब्लम से निकलूं कैसे. देखिए ऐसा ना, उतने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं है एक्चुअली. प्रॉब्लम होंगे सिर्फ 5%, 95% ओनली इमेजिनेशन होता है. But it is that 95% which is causing the suicidal tendency. So, no matter how desperate, no matter how given up a patient is, believe me, there is always that 1% in that person who says, मैं ऐसा आदमी से बात करूं, ऐसे डॉक्टर से बात करूं, मैं ऐसे काउंसलर से बात करूं, मैं ऐसे मेंटर से बात करूं, who can pull me out from this duvidha? That is a fact. So connect that person to a mentor or a counselor. ये कुछ tips दे दिए मैंने because Maya said, please do something, sir. So Maya, this is dedicated to you and to all those people across the world who have suicidal tendencies and who are desperate to live life happily, joyfully, and blissfully once again. Please, if you know someone who is going through this, do not hesitate. Connect that person with me. Please. And also, please share this video to as many people as you can because I want to reach out to anyone, including you, if you have suicidal tendencies. मैं आप लोगों को बताऊं, लाइफ इज अमेजिंग. क्या मेरी जिंदगी में अप्स एंड डाउन्स नहीं थे? बहुत सारे थे. बट यू नो व्हाट, लाइफ इज ब्यूटिफुल. मेरे आंखों से देखो ना, it is awesome. If you don't believe that, come connect with me. Leave a note on the comment box below and I will 100% reach out to you. चलो, you take care. ये just यूं ही was not just यूं ही. Please take this seriously. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Here you are, Anand Nair, saying goodbye for now. नहीं, not goodbye too long. बहुत जल्द मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ, अगले हफ्ता.